Hey everybody, it's Miss Susanna. Welcome back. Today we will be returning to our exploration of the concept of relationships, which we started last week. Big shout out to Hubbard Street Dance Chicago that provided the inspiration and some of the materials for today's lesson. So, relationships. Last week we started by naming 3 relationships that help define who we are, like daughter, son, sister, brother, cousin, student, teacher. So just take a second to remind yourself, first of all, what were the relationships that you named last week that are important in your life? Okay, cool. Now let's move on to how we use the concept of relationships in dance. First, some definitions. The dance concept of relationship refers to the connection that a dancer has to everything else, to space, to time, to music, and to others, to other people. And as we saw last week, the relationship between the different parts of our own body. Everyone has a different and unique relationship to themselves and to others that is built by our personal identity. This identity is formed over time by our experiences, memories, beliefs, and things we like, which means we can have multiple identities. There are so many ways we can identify that make up who we are and how we relate to ourselves and to others. So what are those 3 ways in which you identify? Okay, let's go with some vocabulary, some important terms that we need to know today. Ta-da! Relationship. In the elements of dance, body, energy, space, and time, relationships is categorized under body. And you know about body, energy, space, and time because we have worked on those before. Dancers explore the relationships of self to self, individuals to groups, self to objects, individuals to groups and objects, individuals and groups to the room or the space. All kinds of different relationships can be explored in dance. Identity. Identity encompasses the memories, experiences, relationships, and values that create one sense of self. This combination creates a steady sense of who one is over time, even as new facets are developed and incorporated into one's identity. Right? So our identity, some of it might stay the same over time. Like I'll always be a daughter, right? No matter how young or old I am always somebody's daughter. But some parts of our identity might change over time. Can you think of one thing that might stay the same through time? And can you think of one part of your identity that might change over time? Next, choreography. Choreography is a sequence or pattern of movements designed to be performed by bodies in space. We use the elements of dance or dance concepts to vary movement choices and express our individual voices. And you all know about this. We just created a choreography last week with the relationships of over, under, around, and through. And you have also learned many different sets of choreography with me before. A sequence of movements, right? That's what choreography is. So today we're going to do a whole bunch of ways to explore the concept of relationships. And as we just heard, there are so many different ways we can define relationships, right? Last week, we focused mostly on self to self, right? Different parts of our body going near, far, over, under. Let's see how a dancer named Alyssa demonstrates the dance concept of relationships using over, under, around, and through.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Allen. I've been dancing with Hubbard since 2019, and today we're going to be discussing relationships of the body. My head. My leg. My leg. Steady my arm. My body. Woo. And going shape with my arms and going through that shape. Gonna go through my legs.
Wow, that was pretty cool. I liked her different moves. I liked how she was exploring that. Pretty cool, right? She was pretty flexible and had some pretty interesting ways of exploring those movements. Really nice. All right. Now, last week, we tried out this concept by creating our own choreography with over, under, around, and through. If you recall, the one that I created was over, under, around, and through. And as you can see, I just did it sitting in a chair, even though last week we did it standing up. So you can try this concept in a variety of ways. So let's think back to last week. And even sitting here in our chairs, let's try something that goes over, something that goes under, something that goes around, and something that goes through. Cool. Now try it out yourself in some different ways. Ready? Try something that goes over, something that goes under, something that goes around, and something that goes through. Cool. Cool. Maybe even see if you can remember your choreography from last week when you made your own. Take about 30 seconds to see if you can remember what you made up last week. Great job. Now that you've created your own movements based on relationships between self to self, let's watch how a choreographer named Rena Butler uses this concept in her work called This, That, and the Third. Awesome. Oh, that was really cool. Okay, now that you've seen it once, I want you to pick one dancer, okay? Just pick one of the dancers, and I want you to really notice at least 3 kinds of relationships that the dancer is showing, okay? 3 kinds of relationships. Maybe head under arms or elbow over head. Whatever. See if you can find at least 3. Okay, so what did you find? What did you find? I'm so curious. I was watching the guy with the yellow socks. Let's see. He was right here. And I saw so many cool things. I definitely saw arms overhead. I think that was one of my favorite movements. I saw his knee come under his torso. That looked really cool. And I definitely also saw his foot, go over his head. That was pretty awesome. So, what are some that you found? You can take a minute to put a few in the chat. And you don't have to tell us which person you watched, but just take a second to put in the chat a few relationships that you saw. Which body part to which body part? How are they interacting? Awesome. If you have time, you can also talk about this out loud. So let's discuss. So we did that. We selected one dancer to watch. We identified some movement relationships that we saw. Think about what relationships did you choose to create within your own movement? How are those maybe different or similar to the ones that you just saw in this choreography? Ooh, and a final big question. How can exploring your identities help you understand yourself and how you engage with the world? That's a big thought. I'll leave you with that for a moment. Okay, but actually we have to move on because we have a lot to explore. So, we've been exploring so far relationships of self to self, right? My arm, my head, my shoulder, right? Relationship self to self. But of course, another huge aspect of relationships is yourself to others. So let's watch a couple of professional dancers explore the relationship of self to others through their dance concepts. So cool. They're going to show us over, under, around, and through with a dance partner. And I really, really, really love what they do. Let's check it out.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Burnett, and I've been a dancer for Hubbard Street Dance Chicago since 2009.
Hello, I'm David Schultz, and I have been a dancer with Hubbard Street since 2011.
And here we're going to do relationships between two bodies.
Nice. Nice. A button. Ooh. Ooh.
Awesome! Does that look like something you'd want to try? I definitely would. I think that looks so fun. And whenever we can be together in person again, maybe we can try some craziness like that. Safely, of course. Okay, dancers. So, next, it's time to get up and dance. It's time to explore. So, let's stand up. Make sure you've got some space, because now we're going to be exploring relationship of self to others by exploring with a chair. So, get up, grab a chair, and let's go for it. Okay, so now today let's explore some choreography. Let's explore the relationship of self to others with a bit of exploration. So for this part, you are going to need a chair. Ta-da! It can be the chair you're already sitting in or any other chair that you have at home. Any kind of chair will be fine. You'll also need a little bit of space to move. And if you prefer, if you have another person at home, instead of a chair, you could actually do this part with a partner. So it's totally up to you. Grab somebody else at home or grab a chair. Either one will work. Okay. So before we get started, we need a couple of concepts. First is the idea of personal space. You may have heard of this before. Teachers like to say this a lot, like stay in your personal space, right? So what is personal space? It's the space that's right around our own body, right? This is my personal space, the space right around me, yeah? But when we are in relationship, either with a partner or with an object, then we have some shared space, right? We're not necessarily touching, but there's some space that we both occupy. That's our shared space. Now, an object has negative space, right? You can see the shape of the object, but what about all the spaces in between the parts of the object? All of this area is its negative space, right? And as dancers, we can explore not only our relationship with the positive space, right? The parts of the object we can touch, but with the negative space, the space around the object. Cool. So now let's explore the idea of over, under, around, and through with this chair. So let's just play, yeah? There's no right or wrong. What are some ways that we could go over the chair? Over the chair. Yeah, just try it. You can do exactly what I'm doing, or you can do your own way. What are some ways we can go over the chair? Cool. All right, what are some ways we could go under the chair? Let's just play, yeah? Under, 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 maybe under. Yeah, just explore. What are all the different ways? Under. Cool. Okay, over, under. How about around? How can we go around the chair? Maybe with some circles. Maybe we could go in different directions. Maybe we could try both arms. Cool. And now, how about through? This will be interesting. So we can find the different places where there's negative space to go through the chair. And if you're trying this with a partner, right, you can make all sorts of shapes that are negative to go through. Let's see. Okay, that's going to be hard, but if you can fit through your chair, try it. Why not? Awesome. Okay, so we went over, under, around, and through with our arms. Why don't we try a different part of the body? Be safe, but challenge yourself. How about our foot and our leg? Let's try. Let's go over. Woo, that's kind of fun. Cool. What are some different ways you can go over the chair? Maybe you can make your own shape over the chair. Cool. Maybe you could add some of your own movements over the chair. Cool. Okay, how about under? Again, be careful, but challenge yourself. I don't know if you can fit through your chair. You can try it. Okay, around. Maybe we could take our whole self around the chair. That's kind of fun. Maybe we could make a circle that's kind of over and kind of around, right? Maybe we find some movement that's more than one kind of relationship. This one feels like over and around. Cool. And through. Woo. I don't know. What's an interesting way you can fit through your chair? Can you make some cool shapes? Could you make some cool shapes? Let me put that there. Okay. Maybe can you make some cool shapes that have more than one relationship to the chair? Can you do something that goes over and something that goes under at the same time? Try it. Could you do something that goes under and something that goes around at the same time? Could you do something that goes around and something that goes through at the same time? How about something that goes through and something that goes over? Cool. Keep playing. See what kind of cool shapes you could make with your chair. Right? Okay, over, under, around, and through, we didn't touch the chair. Now you have permission to touch the chair. Can you make some cool shapes touching the chair? Can you use it to balance? Woo! Can you sit on it in a way that's not normal? Maybe add some arms or some legs, right? We sit like this all day long. Boring. What else can you do? Maybe you can connect to the chair in some different ways. I don't know. Maybe you can create a shape that you couldn't create without the chair. I know I couldn't hold this without the chair. Play with it. What are some really interesting ways you could connect to the chair? Awesome, dancers. Really, really cool. All right, put that in your back pocket for a second. And now, let's remember our choreography from last week where we were in relationship to ourself, right? So we chose our hand as our active body part, and we went over the head, under the arm, around the torso, and through the legs. One more time. Over the head, under the arm, around the torso, and through the legs. Cool, let's give it counts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Great. Then we transpose that to a new body part. And I know you made your own version, so feel free to do your own version, or do mine, where we tried it with an elbow. Over the head, under the arm, around the torso, and through the legs. Again, over the head, under the arm, around the torso, and through the legs. Cool. Really nice. Let's do that without stopping. First, we had a shape. Any kind of shape you want. Hold that shape. And now with the hand, over, under, around, and through. With the elbow, over, under, around, and through. Cool. So now, let's make it into a choreography with our chair. Why not? All right, starting with the arm. Let's do something that's over. We'll go like this. Yours can be the same as mine, or maybe yours can be different. It's up to you, okay? We're just creating a choreography together, stringing a few moves together to create a dance. Here we go. Something over, something under, something around, and something through. Okay? Again, your chair might be different than mine, or maybe you're using a partner. So, yours can be similar to mine or your own. Okay? Here we go. Something over, something under, something around, something through. Again, something over, something under, something around, something through. Cool. Now let's go back to that idea of transposition. I know that's a big word. Transposition. Okay, what does transposition mean? If you got the idea that it's taking one thing and putting it in another part of the body, you are absolutely correct, right? We did it with our hand and we did it with our elbow. So let's try it, right? Let's transpose over, under, around, and through. How about instead of our hand or elbow, how about to our foot? Let's try it. Let's go. Over. Woo. Under. Ooh, around is hard. I'm going to take my foot all the way around. Around. And through. Great, let's do it again. Go over. Go under. Go around. Go through. Cool. I like it. I really wish I could see yours. I'll bet they're all really, really cool, especially because yours chairs will be different from mine. So whatever you create will be different from mine, and that's really, really awesome. So now let's try those two together without stopping. Let's do a version with our hand, and then transpose it to our foot and try a version with our foot. Here we go. Over, under, around, and through. Now with the foot. Over, under, around, and through. Cool! I liked it. Okay, let's add a beginning. So we had a shape when we did it before, yeah? Let's do the same. Let's start with our personal shape. It can be literally anything you want, some kind of cool shape. Yep. And let's go. Over, under, around, and through. Foot goes over, under, around, and through. Cool. Okay, I think you can handle an even bigger challenge. So let's do this. Let's put together our version where we were in relationship with the different parts of our body and the version where we're in relationship with the chair. And then we'll have one nice big choreography. Okay, now to do something in between those two parts, right? We have our choreography with our body, we have our choreography with the chair. Let's add a transition. Another nice big word for today. So when you're writing an essay, right? Sometimes you need transition words to get you from one paragraph to another or from one idea to another. And in dance, it can be exactly the same. So we can add a transition that takes us from one part to another. So I want you to pick an action word. We talked a lot about action words in another video. It could be skip, roll, jump, I don't know. Pick your action word, and you have 8 counts to do a transition based on that action word. So maybe mine, let's see, we have over, under, around, through, over, under, around, through. I feel like doing some jumping. My transition is going to be a jump. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that takes me to my chair. So maybe mine is 8 counts of jumping. Maybe yours is 8 counts of rolling. Maybe yours is 8 counts of running. Whatever. That's your transition. So let's try it. From the beginning, we have a shape. Hold it. And from the very beginning with your arm, or whatever you chose, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 with the elbow or whatever your second body part you transposed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now your transition. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, you're at your chair. Here we go with the arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now with the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7, 8. Awesome! Oh my goodness, dancers, I really wish I could see yours. That would be so cool, and I would love that so much. So I have a couple of questions for you. Last week we did, this movement just in relationship to our own body with our different parts of the body. And this week we explored that movement in relationship to an object, like a chair. So was there anything that felt really different about relationships with yourself versus relationships with the chair? Just think about it for a second. Which one was harder to explore? Which one was easier to explore? Was there one that felt more natural? Was there one that felt less natural? So as we go through life, we'll be navigating all kinds of relationships. Our relationship with ourselves, sometimes we'll feel happy and confident and proud and good. And sometimes we might feel kind of sad or depressed or anxious, and not so good even with our own self, maybe disappointed in ourselves. But those are relationships with ourselves that we have to navigate through life. And the same with other people or with other objects, All through life we're going to have to navigate these different relationships outside of ourselves, between us and other people. And those can also be fun and exciting and playful, just like exploring and being silly and creative. Or they can also be challenging, I couldn't get through the bottom of that chair. That was a challenge for me today. But even though relationships present challenges, I think they're definitely worth exploring. Okay, now that we've explored the relationship of self to others with our chair and created some of our own movement, let's check out how professional choreographer Rena Butler explores these relationships in a dance work of hers.
But gravity had me up in a submission hold, like I'm dancing with the devil with 2 left feet and I'm pigeon-toed in 2 small point ballet shoes with a missing soul and 2 missing toes. But it's love like you been kissing a mistletoe. No finger Uncle Samuel, shooting death who waited dice and hitting stains on birthday candles. I know somebody loves my ass, cause they help me beat my demons and ass. Like Cassius ducking the draft and now the fight is over. The type that love from a distance, not the type that told her. Spent 3 days on the rap, trash it and type it over. With babies on the block, underarms like fights and odors. Coppers and folders hold ya.
Cool. Okay, now this one's pretty short, so I want to watch it again. And this time we're gonna play a little game with this. This time I want you to name as many relationships as you can. Name as many relationships as you can out loud while you're watching it. Okay? So I'll show you an example and then you try, because maybe you'll notice different things than I do. Let's see. Okay, the dancer is going around. One dancer is coming near. Her foot goes over Her torso comes up, her torso goes around. They are near to each other. The two dancers are touching. His hand goes over her head. They connect. Now they go further away. Their feet get further apart. Ooh, her foot just came up and around. Okay, that's as many as I could name. Now, you might see different ones than me, right? So using over, under, around, through, or near, far, or any other terms you've learned so far, just try it out. Watch it, and it might feel kind of silly talking out loud to yourself, but just see how many different relationships you can name.
But gravity had me up in a submission hold, like I'm dancing with the devil with two left feet and I'm pigeon-toed in two small point ballet shoes with a missing soul and two missing toes. But it's love like you've been kissing a mistletoe. New Year, little finger Uncle Samuel, shooting death with weighted dice and hitting stains on birthday candles. I know somebody loves my ass, cause they help me beat my demons and ass. Like cash is stuck in the draft and now the fight is over. The type that love from a distance, not the type that told her. Spent 3 days on the rap, trash it and type it over. With babies on the block, underarms like fights and odors. Coppers and folders hold ya.
Awesome! Okay, let's discuss. So, what differences did you notice in the kinds of words you were saying, in the use of relationship vocabulary, when two or more dancers are moving together? I noticed that I said near and far a lot more because I could notice when two dancers were close to each other or when they were far apart a lot more than I noticed that if it was just one dancer, because then I didn't think of it as near and far. Although, of course, you know, your hand can be near to you or far away from you. I don't think I noticed that as much. So I noticed more near and far when more than one dancer were together. So did you notice anything else? Okay, cool. Now, we might have talked about this a little bit before when we were dancing, but did it feel different moving with a chair versus on your own? And why or why not? What made it different? And lastly, how have current events in the world changed the way that you relate to your friends and peers? It's kind of a big question, right? So just think about that. Think about all the ways we've been discussing relationships today. I know for me, I feel a lot farther away from my family and friends because we can't be together, right? We can only be together through the screen. So in terms of near and far, I feel a lot farther away from people. I'm really happy we can still be connected, but I definitely feel farther away. Okay, friends, we are coming to the end of our time together, but as a final fun tidbit, I want to show you this last dance from choreographer Rena Butler, and I want you to watch in this video for all the different kinds of relationships that you can find. Self to self, right? How are different parts of the body interacting? And self to others. How are the dancers interacting with each other? How are they interacting with different objects or even different clothing that they have? And just notice as many different relationships as you can. Thanks, everybody, for being with me today. I really hope you enjoyed our exploration of relationships, both through watching, through talking, and through doing.
Hi, Christine.
I hope
and
you're
welcome.
feeling healthy
so
in
great
your
to be with you.
relationship with,
Hi,
oh no, are
Damien.
people talking
Great to be
behind
with
me?
you too. Thank you so much.
Oh no,
Now, before we
they are. Hold on.
begin, I want to thank Caroline
and
Mary Sharp Cronson and Duke Dang, who have been
My goodness, sorry about that. Technology, am I right? Okay, let's try that again. I am so excited that you are with me today to explore the concept of relationships through our bodies, through our conversation, and through watching professional work. I hope you are feeling healthy in your relationships with yourself and with others and with your environment. So, sending you all my love. See you next time. Bye.